Sit watching the dust settle on the windowsill. The clock on the wall stands frozen and perfectly still. The neighborhood hums a low frequency through the glass. I count the shadows of the sycamore trees as they pass. My coffee is cool to the temperature of the room. The garden outside is waiting for a reason to bloom. I find a rhythm in the faucet dripping slow and steady. Living in the space between the not yet and the ready.
No pressure in the atmosphere tonight. Just the pale glow of a single yellow light. Gravity is holding me right where I belong. In a quiet bridge of a never-ending song.
This is the calm we found inside the heavy air. Finding the answers in the silence over there. Moving like smoke, drifting toward the attic ceiling. Caught in the velvet grip of a nameless feeling. Let the minutes stretch out until they start to bend. This is where the beginning meets the bitter end. The floorboards creak under the weight of my simple grace. I recognize the lines etched on my entire face. There is a map printed on the palm of my open hand, leading to a destination I never officially planned. I put the needle down on a record with the scratchy start, listening to the syncopation of a wandering heart. The world keeps spinning its gears in a frantic race, but I am anchored down in this wide and empty space. This is the calm we found inside the heavy air. Finding the answers in the silence over there. Moving like smoke, drifting toward the attic ceiling. Caught in the velvet grip of a nameless feeling. Let the minutes stretch out until they start to bend. This is where the beginning meets the bitter end. This is the calm we found inside the heavy air. Finding the answers in the silence over there. Moving like smoke, drifting toward the attic ceiling. Caught in the velvet grip of a nameless feeling. Let the minutes stretch out till they start to bend. This is where the beginning meets the bitter end. Watch the clouds collide across the velvet blue. The morning coffee finds its way to something true. My sneakers scuff the pavement in a steady line. Forget the calendar, I left the clocks behind. The sunlight filters through the gaps in heavy leaves. A sense of quiet is the only solace leave. I let the calls go through to where the voices fade. Another peaceful brick inside the wall I made.
The air is thin and not enough to hold a silver story that has never been told. Just let the heavy pieces fall away. There is no pressure in the plans for today, yeah.
Low frequency is moving through my chest. A simple motion just to give it a rest. The atmosphere is soft enough to lean. Finding the spaces in between the scene. No need to rush the ending of the track. I found a groove and I am never looking back. The city hum is just a distant sound. Where common ground is easily found. The traffic flows like liquid in a different lane. I am an island far away from all the strain. The shadows lengthen on the brick and dusty stone. There is a comfort being out here on my own. I stack my thoughts like records on a wooden shelf. Becoming better friends with every hidden self. The skyline ripples in the heat of midday sun. I feel as though the race is finished before it begun.
The air is thin and light enough to hold a silver story that has never been told. Just let the heavy pieces fall away. There is no pressure in the plans for today, yeah.
Low frequency is moving through my chest. A simple motion just to give it a rest. The atmosphere is soft enough to lean, finding the spaces in between the scene. No need to rush the ending of the track. As time to go, man, I have never looking back. The city hum is just a distant sound, when common ground is easily found.
No heavy weight to pull the shoulders down, no. Chasing gems inside the center of the town. Just steady breathing as the minutes fold. A quiet wealth is better far than color gold.
I stay suspended in the amber of the hour, and feel the slow descent of every dormant power. Low frequency is moving through my chest, a simple motion just to give it a rest. The atmosphere is soft enough to lean, finding the places in between the scene. No need to rush the ending of the track. I sound the groove and I am never looking back. The city hum is just a distant sound, when common ground is easily found. Low frequency is moving through my chest, a simple motion just to give it a rest. The atmosphere is soft enough to lean, finding the places in between the scene. No need to rush the ending of the track. I sound a groove and I am never looking back.
The city hum is just a distant sound, when common ground is easily found.
I watch the golden hours melting on the concrete frame. No clock to chase the day because I signed a different name. The coffee steam is curling up like questions in the air. I leave the heavy static on the corner of the chair.
Suburban silence humming with the honey in the trees. The sovereign state of mind where I am doing what I please. The pavement holds the heat of every story never told. I'm trading in the copper for a feeling made of gold.
The ceiling fan is spinning like a slow and dusty thought. Forgotten every battle that my younger shadow fought. The grass is taller now because the season lost its grip. I let the bitter edges of the conversation slip.
A radio is drifting from a window down the block. I'm out of sync with every calibrated ticking clock. The universe is breathing through the cracks within the floor. I found the key was hiding on the outside of the door.
The heavy lifting is a phantom in the rearview glass. I'm watching all the frantic figures in the distance pass. The current carries weightless things toward the open sea. There's nothing left to anchor what is finally drifting free.
Take the pressure off the bone and let the marrow breathe. Unravel every tangle, not the tangle visions. We the sky is wide enough to hold the quiet in my chest. A temporary sanctuary offered to the guests. Just a steady motion in a world that never sleeps. Harvesting the mercy that our mellow spirit weeps. No more chasing echoes through a hollow mountain hall. Finding everything that looking nowhere else at all.
I see the neighbors painting fences in a shade of blue, constructing all the limits that they plan to travel through. But I am leaning back against the cool and steady brick. The city is a candle and I'm far away from work.
The sunlight writes a letter on the peeling kitchen wall. A testament to standing still and learning how to fall. Deciphering the language of the rest upon the gate. There is a certain beauty in the things that have to wait.
The heavy lifting is a phantom in the rearview glass. I'm watching all the frantic figures in the distance past. The current carries weightless things toward the open sea. There's nothing left to anchor what is finally drifting free.
Take the pressure off the bone and let the metal be the unravel every
tangled, not the tangled visions. We the skies wide enough to hold the quiet in the chest. A temporary sanctuary offered to the guest. Just a steady motion in a love that never sleeps. Harvesting the mercy that a melosphere reaps. From while chasing echoes through a hollow mountain hall. Finding every theme by looking nowhere else at all. Take the pressure off the bone and let the narrow breeze unravel every angle, not the tangled visions. We the skies wide enough to hold the quiet in my chest. A temporary sanctuary offered to the guest. Just a steady motion in a world that never sleeps. Harvesting the mercy that a melosphere reaps. No more chasing echoes through a hollow mountain hall. Finding everything by looking nowhere else at all.
Leaning back against the faded velvet chair, watching sunlight trace a path across the floor. Dust is dancing in a slow and golden flare. I am not searching for a meaning anymore. The clock is ticking, but the hands are feeling light. Gravity is just a concept I forgot. Sipping tea until the morning turns to night. Finding peace within this quiet little spot.
Clouds are drifting like a fleet of paper boats, high above the tangle of the busy street. Heavy burdens losing all the anchored notes, leaving sandals where the grass and pavement meet. There is a melody in how the curtains sway, a gentle friction in the breathing of the trees. Throw the calendar and compass far away, I am floating on a calm and steady breeze.
Your soft horizons melting into shades of gray. Nothing solid left to carry or to hold. Let the colors of the silver wash the day, turning every iron boundary into gold. Let the motion of the world just spin around. I am balanced on the center of the wheel, keeping every heavy thought above the ground, focused only on the way the shadows feel.
Old recorder spinning on a rusted plate, crackling voices from a century behind. No more pressure from the ticking and the fate, only landscapes moving through a relaxed mind. Windows open to the cooling twilight air, distant echoes of a city settling down. Losing every single worry over care, rising higher than the flicker of the town, yeah.
Soft horizons melting into shades of gray. Nothing solid left to carry or to hold. Let the colors of the silver wash the day, turning every iron boundary into gold. Let the motion of the world just spin around. I am balanced on the center of the wheel, keeping every heavy thought above the ground, focused only on the way the shadows feel.
Lying flat on the woven rug, feeling the gravity pull. The clock can't slow down until the measuring cups full. No heavy lifting today, just the dust motes dancing in light, watching the shadows stretch out before they welcome the night.
Window was cracked back just a bit to let the neighborhood out. The distant sound of a mower or a child with a torch round. There is no mission to finish, no boxes left on the list. Just a sweet vapor of silence rising up through the mist.
My sneakers are kicked in the corner, rested under the chair. Not a single heavy thought lingering inside of my head. The wall keeps spinning its gears while I remain out of gear. Filtering out the static until the signal is clear.
Low tide in my mind, let the ocean retreat. Barefoot and steady on the cool concrete. The pulse of the city is a hum in the bone. King of the quiet on a velvet throne. Low tide in the mind, let the ocean retreat. Barefoot and steady on the cool concrete. The pulse of the city is a hum in the bone. King of the quiet on a velvet throne. Low tide in the mind, let the ocean retreat. Barefoot and steady on the cool concrete. The pulse of the city is a hum in the bone. King of the quiet on a velvet throne. Low tide in the mind, let the ocean retreat. Barefoot and steady on the cool concrete. The pulse of the city is a hum in the bone. King of the quiet on a velvet.
Ice cubes clinking and glass melting away to the core. Whatever happened yesterday is leaving out the back door. Not trying to capture the moment or trap it inside of a box. Just drifting along like a boat untied from the dock.
The ceiling fan is a propeller going nowhere at all. Writing invisible letters on the paint of the wall. I heard the telephone ring but the cord is a mile too long. Everything feels like the bridge of a forgotten folk song.
Maybe the birds have the secret, singing for nothing but air. Finding a reason to breathe without a burden to bear. So I keep the blinds halfway shut,
Let the cold trickle in,
finding where the daydream ends.
then we're actually begin. The urgency is fading like a ghost in the hall. I am not waiting for a sign or a call. The heavy boots are off and the weight is done. Dancing on the edges of a lazy dawn. Low tide in the mind, yet the ocean retreat. Barefoot and steady on the cold concrete. The pulse of the city is a hum in the bone. King of the quiet on the velvet throne. Low tide in the mind, let the ocean retreat. Barefoot and steady on the cool concrete. The pulse of the city is a hum in the bone. King of the quiet on a velvet throne. Low tide in the mind, let the ocean retreat. Barefoot and steady on the cool concrete. The pulse of the city is a hum in the bone. King of the quiet on a velvet throne. Low tide in the mind, let the ocean retreat. Barefoot and steady on the cool concrete. The pulse of the city is a hum in the bone. King of the quiet on a velvet throne.
Rolling down the window, let the cool breeze drift in. Watching all the traffic like shadows on my skin. Heavy on the pedal, but I'm moving quite slow. Watching how the golden hour starts to lose its glow. City on the horizon looking like a dusty painting. Everyone is rushing while I'm simply out and waiting for the moment when the clock hands finally disappear. Nothing but the static and the atmosphere is clear. Got a dusty record spinning circles in my brain. Washing off the tension like the summer after rain. No one's got a jacket and the pavement's feeling warm. Floating in the silence just ahead of any storm. Keep the volume steady as the house is folded by. Looking for a reason just to stare up at the sky.
Take it easy, let the gravity just hold me down. Floating like a feather over every part of town. Steady breathing while the colors turn to velvet gray. Finding all the magic in the middle of the day. Let it slide away. Let it slide away. Let it slide away.
Counting all the bricks inside the alleyways we fast. Sipping on some water from a heavy vintage glass. Reading all the signs but I forget the words inside. Nothing left to prove and there is nowhere left to hide. Maybe if I linger where the garden keeps peace, I can find a second where the heavy burden cease. Dogs are barking softly from a porch across the street. Tapping out a tempo with the motion on my feet.
Old man on the corner selling food from off a tray. Everything is perfect in its own peculiar way. I don't need a map because I'm happy being lost. Measuring the value without looking at the cost. Sunlight hitting metal, making patterns on the floor. I don't think I'm searching for an answer anymore. Everything is leaning into something very deep. Promises of funds that I don't really have to cool. Just a simple motion like a wave against the sand. Holding on to nothing with a steady open hand. Take it easy, let the gravity just hold me down. floating like a feather over every part of town. Steady breathing while the colors turn the velvet gray. Finding all the magic in the middle of the day. Let it slide away. Let it slide away. Let it slide away. Let it slide away.
Staring at the ceiling where the shadows play, watching all the heavy clouds just drift away.
Nothing on the clock and nothing on the phone. Finding a sanctuary here within my home. The steady pulse of pavement hums a quiet song. Right where the easy stillness feels where I belong.
Yeah. Souls on the gravel keep a measured pace, tracing every line etched on the city's face. Not a single soul demanding where I should arrive, just a simple knowledge of being still alive. I find the silver liners in the copper wire, letting the morning cool the remaining fire. No need for frantic motion or a louder voice. Silence is the treasure and the chosen choice. Every breath is deeper like an evening tide, with nowhere left to run and nowhere left to hide.
Staring at the ceiling where the shadows play, watching all the heavy clouds just drift away. Nothing on the clock and nothing on the phone. Finding a sanctuary here within my own. The steady pulse of pavement hums a quiet song. Right where the easy stillness feels where I belong.
Window frames a framing of the fading street, where the softest colors and the edges meet. Sipping on the moment till the glass is clear. Distance is a ghost and everything is near. Gravity is kind when you settle in the seat. Feeling the vibration beneath the concrete. The weight of heavy expectation starts to bend. Finding that the destination is a loyal friend. Let the world keep spinning in its rapid spin as the peaceful universe begins to soar.
At the ceiling where the shadows play, watching all the heavy clouds just drift away. Nothing on the clock and nothing on the phone. Finding a sanctuary here within my own. The steady pulse of pavement hums a quiet song. Life where the easy stillness feels where I belong.
The city moves in slow motion through the dusty window pane. I am watching teardrops of late afternoon sunlight fade. Counting heartbeats against the rhythmic hum of the subway. Everything feels heavy, but I'm floating in the gray space. Just another ghost wandering through a familiar maze. I am tracing patterns on the ceiling with a tired gaze, finding meaning in the silence that the crowd can't erase. There is no hurry to arrive at a destination unknown. Just the comfort of being nowhere and entirely on my own. Listening to the breath of a cloud that never sleeps alone. Yeah, I can feel the gravity loosening its grip tonight. The shadows stretch long and lean and see the pale light. My thoughts are drifting, the paper boats on a calm stream. Somewhere between a memory and a hazy waking dream. The atmosphere is thick with songs that no one ever wrote. I'm catching fragments of a melody in every smoky note. No more climbing ladders, a leap to a hollow sky. Just a steady pulse under the skin as the hours pass by. Turning down the noise until the truth begins to clarify. The ink on the page is drying into shapes of old regret, but the future is a secret that haven't found its voice yet. I am moving through the stillness like a needle on the groove, waiting for the spirit of the evening to finally make its move. Nothing left to hide and certainly nothing left to prove. I can feel the gravity loosening its grip tonight. The shadows stretch long and lead into the pale light. My thoughts are drifting like paper boats on a calm stream. Somewhere between a memory and a hazy waking dream. I can feel the gravity loosening its grip tonight. The shadows stretch long and lean into the pale light. My thoughts are drifting like paper boats on a calm stream. Somewhere between a memory and a hazy waking dream. I can feel the gravity loosening its grip tonight. The shadows stretch long and lean into the pale light. My thoughts are drifting like paper boats on a calm stream. Somewhere between a memory and a hazy waking dream.
The coffee steam curls like a quiet phantom in the room. Dust motes dancing in a sliver of the afternoon. I watch the clouds rearrange their heavy gray shapes, while the neighbors hang their laundry on the iron escapes. No ticking clock, just the slow hum of a cooling fan, tracing every lifeline etched across my open hand. The world carries on with its frantic endless race, but I am anchor friendly in this tiny silent space. A stack of weathered books leaning on a window ledge. I'm walking narrow past along the very inner edge. The street lamp flickers before the sun is even gone, waiting for the stars to put their silver umber on. There is a strange comfort in the way the floorboards creak, finding all the answers that I didn't have to seek. Just a low frequency vibrating through the hollow floor, leaving every heavy burden right outside the door.
Take a deep breath and let the gravity dissolve. Watch the ancient years of the universe revolve. No need to hurry and no reason left to climb, sinking through the layers of the fabric of the time. Let the stillness settle like a blanket on the mind, leaving all the static and the friction far behind. Floating on the ripples of a velvet kind of blue, finding something honest to finding something true.
The shadows stretch their limbs across the faded rug. The silence gives my weary soul a heavy gentle hug. Whatever happened yesterday is buried in the sand. The future is a silhouette I don't need to understand. Just a pulse beneath the skin and the air inside the lungs, speaking in the mystery of 1,000 tongues. A peaceful surrender to the way the current flows. Where the water wanders is where the spirit goes. A single sparrow settles on the rusted garden gate. The hour feels so light it has forgotten its own way. I pour another cup and watch the honey swirl around, listening to the sweetness of a subtle muffled sound. The city is a forest made of glass and jagged steel, but in this hidden corner this is all I need to feel. No more chasing shadows down the dark and winding lane, just the soft progression of the sunlight on the grain.
The horizon mellows to a shade of golden peach. The fruit of contentment is within a steady reach. The noise of a struggle starts to fade into the dark. I am just a passenger inside a drifting bar. Take a deep breath and let the gravity dissolve. Watch the inking gears of the universe revolve. No need to hurry and no reason left to climb, sinking through the layers of the fabric of the time. Let the stillness settle like a blanket on the mind, leaving all the static and the friction far behind. Flowing on the ripples of a velvet kind of blue. Find something honest and find it something true. Take a deep breath and let the gravity dissolve. Watch the ancient gears of the universe revolve. No need to hurry and no reason left to climb, sinking through the
the layers of the fabric of the time. Let the stillness settle like a blanket on my mind.
Coffee steam curls like a slow moving snake. Drifted past the window where the morning starts to wake. I am watching dust motes dancing in the silver beam, caught between the shore of truth and the ocean of a dream. My headphones cradle every heavy thought of home, finding comfort in the seas that my quiet mind is on. No pressure on the clock, just a ticking of the heart, searching for the beauty in the way things fall apart.
Street lights fading, all the handles in the breeze. Cool air flowing through the shipping bottom trees. I put the pen to paper just to see the ink flow, watching all the shadows and the silhouettes roll. There is a secret frequency beneath the city hum, waiting for the stars to fall and the day to become nothing but a memory of a peaceful state of mind, leaving all the heavy luggage of the world behind. The gravity is loosening its grip upon my chest. I am drifting in the current, feeling truly blessed. Let the noise dissolve into a single steady tone, building up a kingdom on a solitary throne. This is the clarity found in the gray, walking through the garden where the indigo stays, weightless in the motion of a gentle rolling tide. Nowhere left to run and nowhere left to hide, just a steady pulse beneath the velvet of the night. Everything is balanced and everything is right, holding on to nothing while I have it all in hand, tracing out the sketches of a new and better land.
The radiator hums a soft and steady low refrain, better than the tapping of the cold and biting rain. I am turning over pages that I never dared to read, planting every feeling like a tiny golden seed.
There is power in the pause and I listen in the love, filling up the spaces where the spirit used to be dull. Looking at my reflection in the dark and polished glass, watching all the ghosts of my old worries softly pass. The skyline is a jackety silhouette against the blue. Everything is ancient yet everything is brand new. I found a different rhythm in the stepping on my seat, far away from crowds in the busy French Creek. My pulse is like a drummer in a distant wooden hall. I go in the whispers of a writing on a wall. Peace is not a destination but a way to lean into a corner of a quiet vivid scene. The gravity is loosening its grip upon my chest. I am drifting in the current, feeling truly blessed. Let the noise dissolve into a single steady tone, building up a kingdom on a solitary throne. This is the clarity found in the brain, walking to the garden where an angel told stays, weightless in the motion of a gentle rolling tide. Nowhere left to run and nowhere left to hide, just a steady pulse beneath the velvet of the night. Everything is ours and everything is light, holding on to nothing while I have it all in hand, tracing out the sketches of the new and better land.
Sun leans heavy on the window glass. I watch the golden hours drifting slowly past. Coffee growing cold inside a ceramic cup. No reason for the hurry, just to wake it up. Dust particles dancing in a single beam. The reality is softer than a fever dream. Shoes keep the side near the arch of the door. I leave my heavy worries on the wooden floor. Everything is quiet in this corner of the town. I took the heavy mantle and I laid it down. Take it as it comes, like the turning of the tide. There is nowhere left to run and nowhere left to hide, just a steady pulse of the breathing in the room. Watching flowers open and the petals start to bloom. Gravity is gentle when they let the weight descend, finding where the circle starts and where the cycles end. Clouds moving sober across a violet sky. No one asking questions or demanding why. Records spinning circles in a rhythmic glide, keeping all the chaos and the noise outside. The ceiling is a canvas for the shadows there, traces of the daylight hanging in the air. I used to chase the minutes like a silver ghost, but silence is the company I value most. No more hollow talk or the clatter in the street, just the feeling of the earth beneath my tired feet. The clock on the wall is a liar today. It tries to tell me that the time slips away, but I'm standing still in the center of the flow, letting all the bitterness and heavy spirits go. Take it as it comes, like the turning of the tide. There is nowhere left to run and nowhere left to hide. Just the steady pulse of the breathing in the room, watching flowers open and the petals start to bloom. Gravity is gentle while you let the weight descend. Find where the circle starts and where the cycles end. Take it as it comes, like the turning of the tide. There is nowhere left to run and nowhere left to hide. Just the steady pulse of the breathing in the room, watching flowers open and the petals start to bloom. Gravity is gentle when you let the weight descend. Finding where the circle starts and where the cycles end. As it comes, like the turning of the tide. There is nowhere left to run and nowhere left to hide. Just the steady pulse of the breathing in the room, watching flowers open and the petals start to bloom. Gravity is gentle when you let the weight descend. Finding where the circle starts and where the cycle ends.
Lines against the peeling paint on the wall, stacking old vinyl records just to watch them fall. My coffee's getting cold, but the steam holds a ghost of all the quiet moments that I value the most. The street outside is humming a low fidelity tune, while I'm tracing circles around the silver in the spoon. No deadline in my pocket, no static in my head, just wandering through the chapters of the books I'd never read.
The hour hand is moving heavy like a stock in sand. I forgot the way the compass feels inside my hand. The world is spinning fast, but I'm leaning on the rail, watching every ship in the distance lower its sail. Slow down the motion, let the colors bleed into gray. There's nothing left to capture in the middle of the day. Just breathing in the dust, smoke's dancing in the light, saving all my energy for the middle of the night. Keep it flowing steady like the river beneath the floor. I don't need a knock because I took away the door. Floating on the surface where the water meets the sky. Let the heavy burdens of a busy city die.
Tall shadows stretching tall across the park bench. Caught a bit of wisdom from a rusty socket wrench. Everything is vibrating at a different frequency now. I've forgotten why I ever tried to wrinkle my brow. Radio's cracking with a signal from the past, knowing that the simple things are always meant to last. I'm carving out a kingdom in a square foot of space, with a silent ton of granite written on my face.
The hour hand is moving heavy like it's stuck in sand. I forgot the way the compass feels inside my hand. The world is spinning fast, but I'm leaning on the rail, watching every ship in the distance lower its sail. Slow down the motion, let the colors bleed into gray. There's nothing left to capture in the middle of the day. Just breathing in the dust, most dancing in the light, saving all my energy for the middle of the night. Keep it flowing steady like the river beneath the floor. I don't need to knock because I took away the door. Floated on the surface where the water meets the sky. Let the heavy burdens of the busy city by. Slow down the motion, let the colors bleed into gray. There's nothing left to capture in the middle of the day. Just breathing in the dust, most dancing in the light, saving all my energy for the middle of the night. Keep it flowing steady like the river beneath the floor. I don't need to knock because I took away the door. Floating on the surface where the water meets the sky. Let the heavy burdens of the busy city die. Slow down the motion, let the colors bleed into gray. There's nothing left to capture in the middle of the day. Just breathing in the dust, most dancing in the light, saving all my energy for the middle of the night. Keep it flowing steady like the river beneath the floor. I don't need to knock because I took away the door. Floating on the surface where the water meets the sky. Let the heavy burdens of the busy city die.
The sunlight leans against the peeling window frame, tracking shadows moving slow across the floorboard. Ice cubes spinning in a glass of yesterday, watching how the condensation finds its way down. Everything is suspended in this golden haze. No heavy lifting, just a gentle kind of sway.
Street noise filtered through the heavy velvet drapes. Muffled horns sounded like a distant saxophone. Dust motes dancing in a single captured beam. I am caught inside the spaces of a waking dream. Shoes kicked off by the door where they belong. Listen to the hum of the city moving on. Take it as it comes without good urgency. Leaning back until the world begins to blur. There is a secret in the way that our leans folded neatly in the corners of my mind. Floating on the currents of a quiet tide. No place left for any restless soul to hide.
All vinyl rotating with a steady crackle. The needle finds a groove that feels like home. I see the skyline through a haze of silver gray, watching all the frantic people go their way. But here the clock has lost its jagged little teeth,
Finding all the comfort that resides beneath. Let the pressure dissipate like morning mist. Unclench the hands that try to hold the wind. The day is softening around the jagged edges, turning down the volume of the crowded streets. Take it as it comes without the urgency. Leaning back until the world begins to blur. There is a need for in the way that our legs folded neatly in the corners of my mind. Floating on the currents of a quiet tide. No place left for any restless soul to hide.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Checking the clock, but the numbers don't move. Got my sneakers laced tight, finding that groove. The sunlight is painting a line on the floor. I left all my worries outside of the door. Just static and dust in the air tonight. No heavy lifting, just keeping it light. The city is humming a low steady drone. I'm feeling at peace while I sit on my throne. It's not about winning or gaining the lead, just sowing the garden and planting the seed. Flow like the water that runs through the stream, drifting away in a waking dream. The weight on my shoulders is starting to break, taking whatever the universe makes. Hey.
Slow down the motion and let it outside. Nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Easy does it as the world turns round. Keeping my feet on the solid ground. No pressure climbing, no mountain to scale. Feeling the wind in a little sail. Just existing in the space between. Keeping the vision sharp and clear.
Coffee is cold but the spirit is warm. Finding the center inside of the storm. My head is a gallery filled with the past, but I'm building a temple that's meant to last. Old record spinning, a crackling pop, knowing exactly just when I should stop. Ignore all the sirens that scream in the dark, searching for grace like a flame from a spark. The silence is loud and the moments are deep. Promises made are the ones that I keep. Yeah.
I slow down the motion and let it all slide. Nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Easy does it as the world turns round. Keeping my feet on a solid ground. No pressure climbing main mountain to scale. Feeling the wind in a linen sail. Just existing in the space between.
does it as the world turns round. Keeping my feet on the solid ground. No pressure climbing Rain Mountain to scale. Feeling the wind in a linen sail. Just existing in the space between. Keeping the vision sharp and clean.
Yeah.
Clockwise the ceiling, fan rotate in slow motion. That's most dancing in the heavy liquid ocean. The city hums beneath the floorboards far away, while the sunlight bleeds a pale shade of gray. Halfway finished coffee cold inside the ceramic. Found a steady peace within the quiet panic. No need to rush the hands across the dial phase. Just finding comfort in this empty kind of space. Low-fi frequencies are breaking through the window pane. Clouds drifting by like a slow-moving freight train. I left the messages unread upon the screen. Navigating through the spaces in between. The ink gets giant on the page I haven't turned. From all the bridges that I never actually burned. Just a gentle pulse beneath the velvet skin. Wondering where the outer world begins.
Floating on the surface of a dream that stays away. Watching every ripple that beside the moments make. Heavy on the eyelids, but the mind is feeling light. Drifting through the pale blue shadows of the sky. Keep it on below where the frequency is deep. Promises to myself that I finally intend to keep. Gravity is loosening its grip upon the floor. I don't need to look for what I am or what I was before.
The bookshelf hangs against the wall like an old friend. Waiting for the afternoon to reach a quiet end. Records spinning circles in the groove of faded black. There is no desire left for looking back. Steam rising softly from the basement down below. Watching how the shadows and the amber colors grow. Stretching out my fingers just to touch the cooling air. Finding every answer in the breath that lingers there.
Floating on the surface of a dream that stays away. Watching every ripple that the silent moments make. Heavy on the eyelids, look, the mind is feeling light. Drifting through the pale blue shadows of the side. Keep it on the low where the frequency is deep. Promises to myself that I found intended key. Gravity is loosening its grip upon the floor. I don't need to look for what I am or what I was before. Of a dream that stays away. Watching every ripple that the silent moments make. Heavy on the eyelids, but the mind is feeling light. Drifting through the pale blue shadows of the sight. Keep us on the low where the frequency is deep. Promises to myself that I'm not intended to keep. Gravity is loosening its grip upon the floor. I don't need to look for what I am or what I was before. Counting the cracks upon the pavement stones. Ignoring calls and the vibrations from my mobile phone. Low fidelity spinning on the black wax disc. Taking every single hour without a hint of risk. The tea is steeping while the sunlight hits the dusty shelf. Finally found a moment just to sit and face myself. No heavy burden, just the movement of the ceiling fan. Moving slowly on the timeline just because I can. This is where the heavy weather settles into gold. Stories that the quiet corners of the city hold. Let the minutes stretch out like a long forgotten road. Dropping every single piece of that unnecessary load. floating through the static in a steady state of grace. Finding balance in the hollow of this private space. Steam rising from the cup in a white curled line, tracing all the patterns of a simplified design. The neighbors downstairs playing records from a distant year. Muted melodies are all I really want to hear. No more chasing shadows in a frantic race. Just the cool touch of the morning on my tired face. The calendar is blank and the ink is staying dry, watching all the silver birds navigate the sky. Everything is settling exactly where it needs to stay. Watch the busy world melt into a shade of gray. Gravity is loosening its grip up on the floor. I don't need to look for any openings anymore. This is where the heavy weather settles into gold. Stories at the quiet corners of the city hold. Let the minutes stretch out like a long forgotten road. Dropping every single piece of that unnecessary load. Floating through the static in a steady state of grace. Find a balance in the hollow of this private space. This is where the heavy weather settles into gold. Stories at the quiet corners of the city hold. Let the minutes stretch out like the long forgotten load. Dropping every single piece of that unnecessary load. Floating through the static in a steady state of grace.
Floating through the velvet atmosphere today. Golden rays painting shadows on the brickwork gray. My heartbeat finds a steady pace inside the quiet. Filter in the noise like a peaceful mental diet. The sidewalk stretches out like a long forgotten page. Brightening every step as I drift beyond the cage. The breeze carries sense of rain and ancient climb. Everything will slower in this kingdom that is mine. Clock hands spinning but they never hit the floor. Ignoring every knock that is coming at the door. The tea sits stinging while the dust smokes. Dance along, syncopated breathing helps the spirit stay strong. I see the city blushing under heavy purple skies. Watching how the tired morning slowly starts to rise. No pressure on the shoulders, just the lightness of the air. Knowing that the destination isn't really there. Drifting where the gravity decides to let us go. Watching all the colors in the lazy steady flow. Weightless in the center of a world that never sleeps. Holding on to secrets that the hollow valley keeps. Just a simple vibration in the middle of the flame. Leaving behind the worry and the burden of a name. Steady like a tide coming back to meet the sand. Resting in the hollow of a gentle giant hand. Vinyl crew stretching out a story in the room. Flowers in the window starting silently to bloom. My thoughts are like a river winding through a valley deep. Waking up the promises that I intend to keep. The telephone is silent and the screen is glowing down. Swimming through the ocean till I reach the outer rim. Every single motion has a texture like a dream. Gliding like a feather down a silver mountain stream. Concrete becomes a garden once you look at it just right. Finding all the sparks hidden deep within the night. The coffee tastes like honey and the bread is warm and soft. Keeping all the heavy expectations far aloft. I trade the iron armor for a linen shirt instead. Finding all the answers in the books I never read. There is no finish line when you walk in such a qual. Finding that the smaller things are actually quite tall. Drifting where the gravity decides to let us go. Watching all the colors in a lazy steady flow. Weightless in the center of a world that never sleeps. Holding all the secrets that the hollow valley keeps. Just a simple vibration in the middle of a frame. Leaving behind the worry and the burden of a name. Spreading like the tide coming back to meet the sand. Resting in the hollow of a gentle giant hand. Drifting there, the gravity decides to let us go. Watching all the colors in a lazy steady flow. Weightless in the center of a world that never sleeps. Holding on the secrets that the hollow valley keeps. Just a simple vibration in the middle of the frame. Leaving behind the worry and the burden of a name. Steady like the tide coming back to meet the sand. Resting in the hollow of a gentle giant hand.
settle deep into the velvet of the afternoon, watching shadows stretch across the dusty floorboards. The world outside is moving, but I lost the tune. Coffee cooling in a ceramic cup I can't afford. The street lights wait that turn to flicker in the light, while I'm tracing circles in the heavy air, cutting through the static with a butter knife, leaving every heavy thought for someone else to bear. This is the drift where the clocks start to fail, just a slow current in a very small sea. Lower the anchor is short in the sail, nowhere to go and nowhere to be. Let the long minutes turn into gold, let the whole story remain untold. Ain't told, ain't told, told. Maybe the silence is a language of its own, a quiet frequency between the heavy beats. The seeds of a different mindset are sown away from the sirens on the crowded streets. No need for a map when the compass is gone, just hanging on to the fate of the day, waiting for nothing until the next dawn, watching the colors all turn into gray. Beneath the ceiling fan, the dust begins to dance, spinning in the beam of horizontal light. I gave the frantic chase a second chance, but decided to surrender to the coming night. My heartbeat is a drummer who forgot the pace, simple and steady like a cooling stone, losing the memory of the human race, comfortable sitting here entirely alone. The pressure is lifting from my tired shoulder. The noise of the city is 1,000 miles away. I am staying still while the world grows older, content to let the evening have its final say. This is the drift where the clocks start to fail, just a slow current in a very small sea. Lower the anchor and shorten the sail, nowhere to go and nowhere to be. Let the moment mix turn into gold, let the whole story remain untold. Ay.